Welcome to Watch Diary. My name is Ryan Snelling, excited to be here as always. Thank you so much for joining me, whether it's on the podcast feed or the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. Maybe you've noticed I put up some new cover art, some new design work for the YouTube channel, and that's just to kind of get ready for 2023. I had to get rid of the horror theme, so I figured why not just go ahead and plan the whole transition into Watch Diary 3.0 or 4.0, whatever it is at this point. It might be 4.0, but I called it 3.0 when I labeled all my files. And I'm excited. I still haven't fixed everything, like the overlay is still the same but I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's all good. I technically have plenty of time. I am excited to be here with you today. This is going to be a more casual, laid-back show. No Brando, obviously. And I didn't go to the theater this week. I was going to go see Banshees of Inisherin and Tar, and I realized that Tar is about to be released digitally and at home here in like a few weeks. So I wasn't afraid that I was going to miss it in time for like, say, the award season. So I just figured, and it was like 2.5 hours. I was like, I'll just wait for that. And Banshees I didn't get to. I just decided to stay home last night because my tire had a flat, and I didn't want to drive on it. I was going to take it to get it fixed this morning, which I did do, and it is fixed now, but I just decided to stay in last night, and I finished watching Severance. Severance has been the thing that I've kind of like taken all year to watch, literally, because it premiered in February. I think I started watching it shortly after it ended, and then it took until now for me to finish that show. So I'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll probably do like a Wakanda Forever preview. But other than that, I just figured I'd just sit down and chill with you guys. And yeah, it's the middle of the day on Friday that I'm recording this. I'm tired. Something's going on with my sleep schedule, and I don't know why. I cannot sleep in for the life of me. And it hasn't been, I mean, I don't like getting up because by nature, or at least I was, up until about a week ago, a night owl, but I just can't sleep in. I've been waking up on my own around between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., and I don't really know what to make of it. The only, like, big change for me is that you know what, I don't really know, other than I stopped getting high. I stopped taking edibles. And I don't know, I mean, I always slept in even before edibles and during edibles, but after edibles, for some reason, it's different. And I just don't get why. And I want to get back to a place. I thought I was going to sleep in this morning because I didn't get to bed until like 1:30. But no, it didn't happen. So I don't know what's going on. So I'm pretty tired. I have the midday blues. And that's why I thought it'd be perfect to go on and hit record on this whole thing. Yeah, I don't really get it. I've got to wake up in like 12 hours to go to work. I got to be at work at 4 a.m. So that's not fun. And that's why I'm not drinking a turn to cold brews, because I can't take in that much more caffeine. But yeah, it's been a good morning. I woke up and I took my car to get fixed, and I just hung out. I've been playing Modern Warfare 2, like the new one that just dropped, and it's been pretty fun on multiplayer. I haven't played Call of Duty in a while, and I haven't really gotten to like really get into my PlayStation 5. I beat Grand Theft Auto 5, but it didn't really feel like a PS5 experience. I mean, it looked great, of course, but I've also just beaten that game like 6 times already. So just playing it on PS5, it felt like an obligation, but it didn't really feel like I was maxing out the potential. So playing the new Call of Duty has been a lot of fun, and it's just been something I'm doing to chill, and it's been nice. What else is going on? I've been collecting more steelbooks, which has been awesome. I got my Top Gun Maverick 4K steelbook in today. I got the Godfather Part 2 steelbook in today. And so that's fun. But the reason why, if I can connect some dots here, the reason why I quit taking edibles is that I have to pass a drug test coming up. Now, I live in the state of Arizona, where marijuana is legal, but I'm moving to a state where marijuana is not, and I'm applying to get a job that requires a drug test. So I've got to get it out of my system, and so basically I've given up taking edibles because I can't take them again, or I'm not cool. I don't know how to get weed other than going to the dispensary, and so I'll just keep it that way. But I got to pass this drug test, so I've been taking zoo poo as well to flush my body out, and so that's been a thing. But I'm doing that because I'm moving, and I can't remember if I talked about this on a previous show or not. I am moving back to Kentucky, and this morning, I cleaned up my room a little bit. I went around, and I like to take advantage of change, excuse me, and like transitional periods and stuff. I like going to a place with the minimal amount as possible. So what I did today was I did a whole bunch. I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff that I just knew I was done with. It could be clothes. It could be something like a whole. I had like a whole big bag of just electrical cord, like electronic cords, like plug-ins and cables and stuff. Cables is probably the word I should have said. That I have carried around with me probably way too long, and I knew that I wasn't going to use. And so yeah, I just did some like tidying, spring cleaning, some minimizing, and just getting ready for that. I don't know when that's going to happen, but when it does, it's going to happen soon because this job is waiting on me essentially. So now I just got to do my due diligence in terms of as soon as I get the green light, I'll turn in my my notice at work and my notice at this apartment, and that'll be it. If my Arizona era will come to a close. And Watch Diary has been the podcast that I've had in Arizona only. And I don't know what the content's going to look like when I move. I don't know what the content really looks like now because I did all these horror watch-alongs. And I would love to do more watch-alongs. I found a way to edit them that I think is going to just be way more efficient and go a lot faster. And that's just something on the back end behind the scenes that I really, really want to fix because those videos take so long to edit. So long. I'm still editing. Right now, the Exorcist video is up. I'm still editing that thing because I keep getting hit with copyright issues. And I guess I didn't tidy up the edit as much on my own before uploading. So I've been cutting scenes out of it as we go. Like literally yesterday, I cut out 10 seconds. And I've done that probably 4 times this week alone. But, so yeah, I don't know what the content's going to look like. I definitely need to pre-record a whole bunch of stuff, I think. So I think, I don't know. I'll probably start doing that this week. I'll have a ton of Wakanda Forever content, I promise. I don't know when The Fabelmans comes out. I keep seeing that The Fabelmans is next week, the same day as Black Panther, but on the Cinemark app, it says it's the week after that. So after Wakanda Forever and The Fabelmans, that's probably going to be my last like real time content that I make up until Avatar, because fingers crossed, what is today, November 4th? Fingers crossed I'm home by Christmas, which means I'm home by Avatar Way of Water and Babylon and everything else. Got to talk about Tar, so I'm hoping that between The Fabelmans and Avatar is when I'm moved and set and ready to go. So that's the plan. Going back to Kentucky. Arizona's been weird. For me. And I have so many mixed thoughts and feelings on living in Arizona. And I think I will feel better talking about it once I've left. And I can sort of gather on my thoughts. I want to feel what it's like to think back on Arizona instead of think on Arizona. But I'm just ready to go. I'm getting a little antsy in my pantsy a little bit because I'm ready to see my family and have this new job. And yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm also like kind of excited to talk about work and in a future tense, past tense. In the future, I'm excited to talk about where I've worked the past few years, and yeah, I've already done like a lot of reflecting on like the Schmoes No situation and the Collider situation, and I had this real weird experience the other day because I noticed, and I don't know why. It was like the YouTube algorithm wanted me to know. Christian Harloff went live on what used to be the Movie Trivia Schmodown channel. And it was weird to watch him ask the fans. He was talking to the fans, just kind of sitting back and relaxed, trying to get ideas for what that channel could be now that the Schmodown was over. And I don't know why I did it, but I watched most of that video. And it felt I annoyed myself more than he annoyed me. I've mostly come to terms and come to peace with everything that happened in that situation. Every now and then I still get very angry, and every now and then I still feel like I deserve more than what I got. And I get angry about how I changed my life for that idea and for that thing, and how it just, all it did was, it was so hard to have fun with that. And it's so sad to me that I spent so much time on that, so many years working towards that goal. And it's cool to say that I did it, but it wasn't ever, I won't say it wasn't ever. It just wasn't more fun than it was frustrating and stressful. I mean, it's a weird thing to think that not only did I think I was going to be running the channel, but I thought I was going to have those relationships to like work with, and I don't. I mean, I don't talk to any of those people anymore. Mark Ellis sends me Christmas presents still, which is great and so nice and so thoughtful, and that's how he's always been to me. But a lot of those guys I unfollowed, or they unfollowed me, or like even Ken Knapsack. I mean, for the longest time, it was Ken and Ellis who were the most supportive of me. And like even Ken unfollowed me for some reason. I don't remember why. I thought it was so weird because like nothing had happened. It was just like it was weird. But I don't know why I did it, but I commented on Christian's video and like had a whole idea as to what it, like I responded to him the way that I would have if I was still a fan, and as if I still cared. And I think I did it. I think I wanted to do it because it felt right, it felt nice, and it kind of made me feel good to know that I was okay with it initially. Like if this had happened a year ago, there's no way I would have commented. Or if I did, I would have made some kind of snarky comment to like Jay or somebody, like making fun of but I didn't. And I don't, and I've since deleted it because I was just like, come on, Ryan, what are you doing? Like, Christian had mentioned he had kind of talked about how he was in this weird, maybe I'm paraphrasing, maybe I'm adding words, but it came off as if he was in this like weird dark place or sad place or lost aimless place when we were working together. And I'd never gotten that really. I mean, I knew that he was unhappy with certain things, like with Collider and everything, but he kind of said it in a way that was different to me, and it kind of, I couldn't help but feel some sort of empathy, and then I was like, well, I don't want to. Like it was this weird battle, internal battle. But I was like, maybe I'll shoot him this idea. I don't even know if he knows what Rewatch Ryan is, so if he sees it, does he know it's me? And But I deleted it because I was like, you know what? I don't know why I did this ultimately, and I don't. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. Um, it was weird. And it was weird that it happened because it's like a new chapter for him, I guess, or a new chapter for whatever's going on there, and it's a new chapter for me coming up, and that was the other thing too. I was just like, why am I doing this? Because it feels backwards. Like I just want to move on. I just want to worry about my graphics and my designs and my content, and I've been so happy not paying attention to fandoms and outlets and just things that I think are so silly the way that I used to. And um I mean, the only person that I like am a fan of pundit wise, and I'll watch almost everything they do, is Robert Meyer Burnett. And I've always thought he was the best pundits. I've always thought people paired in comparison to him in terms of his knowledge, love his personality, and I just think he's so thoughtful. And he makes everybody not seem thoughtful. And I'm including myself in that, not the company that he keeps, in LA. He makes me think, he makes me look like a child when it comes to this. But yeah, I mean, it's just a weird thing to it felt backwards. So I just kind of deleted it and decided, you know what? I don't know why I almost fell into that. I need to look forward. And so that's what I've been trying to do, is even though it feels weird to say that looking forward is moving back to Kentucky, but I have a job that I'd be foolish to say no to. I'm going to be living in a different city than I did originally in Kentucky. I potentially am going to live on my own in my apartment. And so it'll still be a completely different experience when I go back than it was when I left. But it feels right. And Arizona, for the most part, has done nothing but chew me up. I had a good opportunity, and I've met incredible people. I've met terrible people, but I've also met incredible people, and I'm going to be sad in the most obvious ways to leave my best friends. I'm not going to be sad to leave behind a whole bunch of other people, some that used to be my friend but turned out to just be really disappointing to me. And then that'll be it. And of course, my roommate Ernesto, my best friend, that's going to be hard. But I do think he'll come visit. What a weird week. I had to announce it at work. So just all these things are moving along in any way. And I've got different colored lights behind me. That's supposed to signify a change. It's also supposed to make you think of orange sherbet or rainbow sherbet, probably. It's more of a rainbow sherbet color scheme here. Before I move on, let me remind you that I am partnering up with Movie Palette. Let me go get this. This is a Movie Palette, guys. And it's a Fight Club. So I am on affiliate status with these guys. You can go to moviepalette.com, pick out one of these movie palettes. What they do is they design this canvas, this artwork, with frames from a movie, and they pull the primary color from a frame. They look at it, they analyze it the whole movie through. And from start to finish, this is Fight Club. I know the image is reversed. You can tell right here because Fight Club is reversed. But from front to back, this is Fight Club, and it's beautiful wall art. I have not hung this up yet because I am about to move, like I said, so I didn't see the point. But it's definitely going up in my new place, and I'm excited for that. Fight Club felt right to me, but there's two schools of thought. You can pick your favorite movie, or you can pick one of your favorite movies that has the same color scheme or maybe matches your decor a little bit more. I went ahead and just got that because I felt like I couldn't not get Fight Club, because Fight Club was the movie that got me into movies. It's the reason why I'm here. So go to moviepalette.com and you can browse hundreds, literally hundreds of movies. I also believe you can get a design of a movie that has not been done yet. And they're also working on television seasons and television episodes as well. So there's a lot of variety. Pretty much, that's the beauty of it, is they can do anything. So definitely go check out moviepalette.com. At checkout, use promo code REWATCH15. Rewatch15 or Rewatch15, and it'll get you 15% off your Movie Palette, and it is a great way to support everything that I'm doing here. Definitely go to moviepalette.com, use the promo code REWATCH15. There's a link in the description down below. I would greatly appreciate your help. You can also go to this QR code right here and get a 30-day free trial of Audible on me, or go to audibletrial.com/rewatch. That link is also in the description down below. 30-day free trial of Audible on me. Guys, those are the absolute best ways to support everything that I'm doing here, and I greatly appreciate it. So one thing I was able to do last night is finish Severance, finally. Unfortunately, my watching habit with the show did the show a disservice. I've been watching it all year, essentially, since the time that it ended back in like March. I think it was like early spring or late spring, until now in November. I've been watching this off and on, and I finally watched the last 4 or 5 episodes last night, and I have officially given this show God tier status. And I've only done it to one other show this year so far, The Rehearsal. But Severance is up there. Severance is one of the most rich and thoughtful sci-fi shows that I've seen in a long time. And it just struck a chord with me in a way that I didn't expect from an Apple TV Plus show. Because, look, I think Apple TV Plus shows look great, but I don't know if they've really captured our imagination as audiences. Like, For All Mankind is doing really well, and Ted Lasso, but they got a lot of stuff on there too that I've just like kind of never heard of, but also like when I heard that it was still on, there's still that thing where you hear something's on Apple TV Plus and it kind of annoys you, even though you may have heard a lot of good things about it. Apple TV Plus isn't quite out of that, at least in my mind. Yeah. But Severance with Adam Scott, directed by and produced by Ben Stiller, I believe. He directed a few of the episodes. This is incredible genre storytelling, and there is just so much to pluck from the vine here. But if you don't know anything about the show, the basic premise is that the idea of severance exists, where somebody can separate their mind and basically create a new identity that goes to work for this company. So every time you wake up as yourself, the way that you were born, and as you enter your work facility, it turns on your new self and your new body, and that person only exists in that building. They don't know anything else other than working. They know that they've been severed. They know that there's an out person, but they are the in person inside the facility. And it is brilliant. I mean, I think it does a lot of things that Westworld wish it could do in terms of like a self-identity and all the philosophy and thematics that go into this idea of self, your true self, and making decisions for other people. I mean, there is so much thematically going on in this show. They can explore 10 or 12 different ideas in this one basic premise. When it boils down to it, you can talk about consumerism and capitalism. You can talk about what it means to be yourself, the value in work and money and being free. And there's so much here. And this is a nice, tight 9 episodes. And it's beautifully shot too. It is gorgeous. It's one of the best looking streaming shows. And it's not like it's high profile, or it's definitely high concept, but it's not like it's an expensive show in terms of a lot of CGI or any kind of like crazy set pieces or things like that. But it is gorgeous all of the time and so pleasing to the eye. The acting is incredible. You know, there's John Turturro, Adam Scott, and Christopher Walken, and then Patricia Arquette, and there's a lot of other great other performances from actors that I haven't been familiar with up until this point. But Severance is top 3 television. And I saw that there's a second season coming out, and I could not be more thrilled about it. So I definitely urge you, Severance is definitely worth squeezing in and watching if you're trying to prepare your top TV shows of 2022 list. Severance has to be watched. Because I just think that there's a lot, and there's a lot left to explore too. That's what's great. It ended on a cliffhanger, and there are so many unanswered questions that I'm fine with, because I think we're definitely going to get those in season 2. But the direction and what they do in terms of these characters dealing with how they actually feel about the idea of severance, and you get to explore it on the outside too, and that's what's great. Is you get to explore, and that's a hard thing to balance too with these actors, because it's not like they're playing, how do I put this? They do a great job of being themselves, but different versions of themselves, and it's really top notch. And the show is able to explore so many themes on the outside, and it's kind of like 2 different shows while also being one great show. And there's just so much going on. They accomplish so much in 9 episodes. It's crazy. But I think definitely watch it. If any of this sounds interesting to you, it's one of the best science fiction shows I've ever seen in my life. And I just don't want to get into it because I don't know if you've seen it. And I just want to make sure that you understand that I think it is God tier television. And it is incredible. And it's definitely in my top 5 of this year. I have a lot of TV left to watch. I got to finish. If we're talking Apple TV Plus, I definitely want to binge all of For All Mankind. I'm still in season 1, so I want to catch all the way up to what I believe just ended on 4, I think. Did we just finish season 4? Or 3? Either way, I want to finish For All Mankind. I definitely need to watch Ted Lasso and Blackbird with Taron Egerton. Those are the Apple TV Plus shows I need to get to. A few other ones off the top of my head, but for the most part, I'm probably going to be done with TV. Not too much time left, and that's all good. Anyway, sorry I ended that abruptly because I got a phone call, but also I said everything I wanted to say. You know, it's not like we were having an involved conversation while the show was on air, so it's more of a recommendation. But yeah, God tier status for Severance. Let's finish up here talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Let's do a little preview. At the time that I'm recording this, the social media embargo, well, it obviously lifted after the premiere, which has happened, but the review embargo is still on lockdown, so there's no Rotten Tomatoes score. I would imagine that that's going to happen on Monday. I'm seeing this film Thursday at like 3 p.m. Eastern time, so like 6 p.m. Or I'm sorry, Western time, so 6 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. So I'm going to see maybe like the earliest possible showing, and I'm so stoked, so excited. You know, as of right now, I have never been more disappointed in the MCU. And I feel like Black Panther is going to be the movie that gets us back on track. I do think it's going to be the best Phase 4 movie, without a doubt. But I think, I'm not saying that I think it's going to be great or it's going to be a masterpiece, but I think this is going to be the movie that brings me hope again after so long, because as time has gone on, I've just soured on most of Phase 4. You know, even the stuff that I liked initially, I've kind of decided that maybe it's not as good as I thought it was, or maybe something's legitimately bad. And I just haven't gotten that much enjoyment out of Phase 4. And I hate to be that guy, but I mean, that is the common sentiment. So, but it's true. I mean, I thought She-Hulk was terrible. And I don't think I've ever said that about an MCU project. I think She-Hulk is legitimately bad. And Thor Love and Thunder, I don't think anything has fallen from grace more. I mean, I left the theater just thinking it was entertaining, and now I just don't care about that movie. I've just completely soured on it. The discourse exhausted me, and I have no interest in revisiting it. I thought it just did such a poor job of getting me to care or get more involved in the story. I just thought it was so almost pointless. And I hate when the MCU tries to be too funny. I mean, it was the Guardians' problem. And I'll tell you what, the Black Panther Wakanda Forever, even though I think it'll get us back on track, I think it's going to be really, really good. The Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailers dropped, I think, since we last spoke, and I thought that trailer looked bad too. Nothing about that movie got me excited, except for Jonathan Majors. And at the end of the day, Jonathan Majors' MCU film debut as Kang, it could not be in a less interesting project to me. Um, I'm not excited about it. I didn't think the trailer did a good job getting me excited, and I think it doesn't look good right now, visually. So, all my eyes are on this project, and I'm really, 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 really excited and hoping that it's the palate cleanser I need. I need hope. And again, I don't need it to be the best film ever made to give me hope. I just want it to be a really awesome Black Panther entry at the end of the day. And I just want a real story. I want to feel like I want to feel like this movie's written with care. I want to feel like these characters have grown and evolved and have depth the way that they did in the first movie. And I want to get excited about new characters, and I want to, still think some of my, I love Shuri. She's one of my favorite characters from the first movie. I want a good Shuri movie. I want a good Wakanda movie. I want a good Namor. I think he's gonna Tanoch Huerta, I believe. I think he's gonna crush as Namor. I don't need this movie to do anything specific with the story. Everything that it sort of promised in the trailers in terms of being this geopolitical struggle, it looks like these two warring factions, that's going to be the conflict in the movie. I'm assuming that this is all going to get set up. The nighttime sequence with the freighter and everything, I think that's where the two clans will meet for the first time, and then they will go back to Wakanda, and Shuri will report what she saw, and then I think that's when Tanoch is going to show up, because they've had the same conversation on their end. So he arrives at Wakanda, and I think he's going to invade it. And I think that this is all going to be really hard for Wakanda to deal with based on what happened to T'Challa. So I feel like I just simply am reacting to and excited as to what the trailer promised. But I don't need this movie to do anything. I just want it to be well made at the end of the day. And I'm totally on board and totally hooked with what it set up. And so I think my expectations are perfectly healthy. I don't think they're sky high. The movie looks good. I think it's going to be good. That's it. And I'm curious to see how they solve a lot of these creative issues. I think there's an opportunity. I don't think it has to, because it's not this movie's problem. But I think this movie is going to give us a little bit more context to the other movies. I think that you have to, because of the Talocan Empire, I think you have to address the celestial that came out of the Indian Ocean, and how that affects. So I think this movie will address things that we've seen planted in other movies. But at the end of the day, I don't care if they do. I think I do expect other movies to talk more about this kind of stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, this movie had so much going on already. So much that I had to fight and deal with COVID and Chadwick Boseman's passing and everything. There's already so much on this movie's plate. I don't care ultimately if it addresses every single little thing that Phase 4 has talked about. Like, it doesn't even seem like it's a multiverse movie, and I'm totally cool with it. Totally cool. I just want a really great story, and I want to have great characters and great writing. And actually, the one thing I will say that I need this movie, I need this movie's visual effects to be better than the original. And based on the trailer, I think they are. But that's what I need. I need this movie to have better visual effects than Black Panther, because that's what's aged that movie the worst. That's the only thing I need. And yeah, I'm thrilled about it. I really am. So I think this coming weekend, we're going to talk Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Maybe I'll have Ernesto, or maybe I'll get somebody else on the podcast, because I highly doubt Brando's going to go see it. But I'll have somebody to talk about this movie with at some point. And then after that, guys, I don't know when The Fablemans comes out, but that's we're off and running. So I might record a whole bunch of watch-alongs and things, but that's going to be the big thing until I move. And yeah, I just got off the phone with my family back home, and they're ready for me. So I got a lot going on, but I appreciate you hanging out with me and sticking around. And I appreciate all the new subscribers that have been hanging out ever since the watch-alongs. I greatly appreciate you as well. More content is coming soon, I promise. And I think that's going to do it here on the podcast. It's going to be short, but it's all good. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, at RewatchRyan. Again, go to moviepalette.com. Use the promo code REWATCH15 to get 15% off of your movie palette. It would mean a lot to me and my channel. Get a 30-day free trial of Audible on me. Just scan that QR code or go to the link in the link in the description down below. And I greatly appreciate it. Andor still rules. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.